Hey, what's going on, good people? Let's talk about the attachment styles. Hey, what's going on, good people? It's your boy James Harris, founder of a movement called Mental Heal, focus on men's overall wellness and mental health as well as our physical health. And I'm also the author of a book called Man Just Express Yourself, which is an interactive planner guide for boys and men to better express themselves. Definitely appreciate everybody who went out and got this tool. So blessed, thankful. I definitely appreciate you. Salute to my parents who got this book as a tool for your young ones. I'm loving the feedback that you're providing. Salute and praise to those spouses and partners out there who got this tool for your husbands, your boyfriends, your fiancés, and you're highlighting those different chapters. You're giving it to them and they're giving it back. You guys are exchanging dialogue over dinner or date night. I'm loving the feedback. And of course, praises to my fellow clinicians who got this as an icebreaker, a intervention use, or just simply having it in our lobby as a conversation starter. So if you're interested in getting this book, definitely go to Barnes& and Nobles, Target, Walmart, Amazon, anywhere books are sold, including my website, mentoheal.com, www.mentoheal.com. Make sure you hit me up on here, provide your questions, your feedback. I definitely appreciate you, so make sure you like, share, subscribe. Drop a question if you have it. Again, so today we're talking about attachment styles. So the attachment style theory is different from the parenting style. So if you're unfamiliar with the parenting style or the attachment theory, you definitely want to check out those videos. So go check out the last video, which was on parenting styles. So similar to parenting styles, the attachment styles are based on development at an early age, and you probably can see the people who have poor attachment styles that you work with or that you're associated with now that are adults. So it's definitely important that you pay attention to this so you can help somebody or gain an insight for yourself because you could fit into one of these categories. So although attachment style in the early years centered around different relationships with the child, pretty much the child and the caregiver, and now we know also it influences the relationships for your spouse or your coworker dynamic or your teammates and stuff like that. Also, to be real with you, again, like this can have heavy influence on your romantic relationship. So you definitely want to ensure that you're processing different things with your partner, you're developing within self if you have those deep-rooted issues from your childhood. So again, with the attachment style, your presence is about making your child feel loved, safe, secure, as well as protected. And this leads to a healthy and stable attachment that you later can use within your adult relationships, your adult attachments. So the attachment theory was developed maybe in 1960 or 70, I believe I want to say. And in most cases, there are four type of attachment. So we got the secure attachment, we got the anxious insecure attachment, the avoidant insecure attachment, and the disorganized insecure attachment. So it's a couple different ones, additional ones out there, but for the most cases, these are the four that people often relate to when they're talking about attachment. So to kick it off, we can talk about secure attachment. So these people tend to be available. They're sensitive to one's needs. They pretty much responsive. They're there. They're accepting. In a relationship with secure attachment, parents let their children go out and about, but also they let them know to come back so they can feel love, warmth, and security. And think about how that can relate to your relationship now with your girlfriend, boyfriend, or your fiance or your spouse. You know, you're letting people know like, hey, I'm here for you. I validate your feelings. You know, I accept you for who you are. So those things can be important. And while you're developing, you know, you're interacting heavily with the young one, with the child, you know, so that can grow up to be influential with the adult situations, interacting socially with a lot of different peers and a lot of different subgroups. You know, these people interact with people around the room opposed to being standoff or guarded. So children who develop secure attachment learn how to trust. They have healthy self-esteem in most cases. They sound like a bliss. You know, adults are easily in tune with their feelings. They're pretty much confident. They generally use like successful relationships because they know how to interact. They've had their interaction as a child based on that secure attachment. And then, of course, when you got that within the home dynamic. So now, when you are playing AAU or doing cheerleading or whatever the case is, and you're active within those social groups, you're not afraid to be yourself because you feel loved and validated and secure within that attachment. So now, as an adult, of course, you're in the office making decisions and outspoken and stuff like that because you are secure with who you are based on how you were raised within that attachment. So when we move on, we talk about anxious, insecure attachment. This can have different effects on people. This type of attachment can happen when parents respond to their child's needs like sporadically. And again, I'm not going to get into the parent-child dynamic because I did a previous video on different parenting styles. So make sure you check that out. But again, within this anxious, insecure attachment, care and protection are sometimes there, but not, as a consistent basis. And then when we're talking about the anxious, insecure attachment, the child can't rely on that parent or that guardian to assist them with their needs. There's more of like the avoidant parenting style that we talked about, or the non-involved one. So the child failed to develop in these cases. The feeling of security from being, this attachment figure, like standoffish, not really interacting, not knowing how to process different things or interact with people because you're not getting that. And since the child can't rely on the parents, they feel threatened. They want to easily get away from the parent and try to explore different things on their own. So, like as they continue to develop, though, the damaging of even being clingy or hoping that they, exaggerate the stress will force the parent to react to them. So again, people tend to act out just to get that attention. And we see now within adult relationships, some people have those trauma bond situations, like doing what you think about in your relationships, like you're trying to provoke your partner to have an argument just so you can feel like they see you or they hear you within that relationship. So those things, again, can stem from something that's unresolved within your childhood. Again, with anxious, insecure attachment, they lack the predictability, which means the child eventually becomes like they're needy, they're angry, they're distrustful in so many cases. And when we move on with that, we're talking about now the avoidant insecure attachment. Sometimes this within this relationship, trouble to accept responsibility or responding sensitively to the child needs. Instead of confident child, they pretty much minimize the child feelings, reject their demands, doesn't help with difficult tasks, is more standoffish and letting the child pretty much figure it out on their own, which can lead to avoidant, just like it sounds, avoidant insecure attachment. In addition, that child may, expect the help from a parent that they're not getting, and it can be detrimental to the bigger picture, like as they grow and develop. The parents don't respond in a helpful manner. So it's pretty much, you'll figure it out, or you'll do what you got to do. I'm busy. I got work. I got my own problems. And then within this avoidant insecure attachment, the child learns that their best bet is to shut down their feelings, become self-resilient. And typically that's what we see in a lot of adult males, in most cases, because at a young age, and specifically, let's just say it was a single parent household, that male is now tapped at a young age to be, you the man of the house now, which he didn't ask for that responsibility. But as the man of the house, 12, 13 years old, he's trying to navigate how to do certain things, but their responsibility is shifting to, I need you to do this. You gotta watch your younger siblings, or you gotta cook dinner. You gotta do certain things. So he's forced to be raised faster than what he's maturing, and now he's just shutting down because he don't know. Like, I gotta tell his parent, like, I'm overwhelmed. Don't know how to do that, or he can't do that. So he feels that he has to be guarded and resilient. And now, adult relationships, adult situations, having to interact with his partner, he doesn't feel that he can relate to, or doesn't feel like he can't tell his partner certain things because she can perceive him as weak or soft or whatever the case is. So this can be a detrimental attachment. So definitely pay attention to what's going on. Definitely don't minimize or show negative emotions to that partner or that person that you're in a relationship with, because you don't know how they were raised. And the last attachment style is pretty much this disorganized and secure attachment. So these behaviors are often have a past that include unresolved trauma. Yes, disorganized and secure attachment has a past of unresolved trauma. So a certain traumatic event that occurred, like as a child, a person, parent, they didn't feel the fear or increased anxiety instead of like different care and protection and nurturing that should have been given by that guardian or that parent or that authority figure. The previous attachment styles that I was just talking about referred to as pretty much organized, within a certain thing. But because within those ones, the child learned, how to behave within certain situations or have some type of strategy to act accordingly. But with this attachment style, it's considered disorganized because the child is pretty much disorganized because they're scared or they're living something that they didn't process, whether that's a traumatic event or something that's resulting from a bad behavior that may have happened. So eventually the child starts to develop behaviors that, they feel somewhat unsafe, and in many cases, it's aggressiveness towards their parent or a guardian or authority figure. And they refuse to take care of basic responsibilities, listen to their parent or listen to their partner now that they're adult, or just feel like they got to be selfish because they got to protect themselves. And with this disorganized, insecure attachment, they pretty much become super self-reliant because it's just them. Like everybody else is out to get me, so I got to take care of myself. So that's it, like as far as the attachment style. So you definitely want to ensure that in your future relationships, you're processing these things from your childhood. So the different attachment styles are something that you can use now as an adult, but it can have an impact or effect in something that you didn't resolve when you were a child. So child attachment styles can definitely affect the way adults feel, behave in their current relationships, not only just your romantic relationships, but your relationships in the office or with your teammates or your peers and stuff like that. While that puts quite a burden on, of course, the parents' shoulders, it's important to remember that everybody has an opportunity to make their own choices. So we definitely want to ensure that the secure attachment style is when children experience secure, healthy attachment, generally move successful within their relationships, whether that's at work or whether that's with their, partners or, the people that they're dating. They can communicate, they can open up, they can feel safe. They tend to be honest and supportive and comfortable within themselves and expressing their feelings because that secure attachment that they received at an early age or as they were developing, it assisted them within leading to success. And then when we talk about, again, the anxious insecure attachment styles, you got the clinginess, you got the insecurities, the anxiousness, more like becoming demanding or possessive within a relationship. You develop like a codependency almost on this other person because you got that fear of being abandoned or second guessing whether you're doing too much or too little within a relationship to make your partner happy or this person happy within the workplace. So just think about it. Like this might be something that you are experiencing now or know somebody who's potentially experiencing these things. So you definitely want to ensure that you're putting yourself in a position to be able to help somebody or point them to a resource. And when we talk about the avoided insecure attachment, this person like typically won't commit in certain situations. They avoid they avoid a lot of situations, including romantic relationships for a significant period of time. They dismissive and they're fearful of keeping others around them because they don't want to be hurt. They want to be guarded. They want to be sheltered because they know, like, if I let my guard down, you're going to use it against me and then I'm going to be defenseless. my vulnerability is going to get me hurt. That's what those people feel. And to wrap up the last one, it was pretty much disorganized, insecure attachment. So that's where, again, they show little regard, little skill, having trouble with the self-regulating their emotions as they get older. And you got to remember too that you're sculpting your child. Aim for their emotional as well as their physical ability, and you can encourage them to have some type of secure attachment within their next relationships. Develop that healthy sense of behaviors within your child. Hey, so let me know what you think. Drop a comment, like, share, subscribe. Definitely share this with somebody. Again, you might know somebody who fit one of those categories of the attachment style. So hit me up, www.mentoheal.com, mentoheal.com. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I definitely appreciate you, and I'll catch you on the next one.